Welcome back to the Film and TV channel. We have a movie review today, a big movie, yeah, and it's one of these movies I've unfortunately looked at reviews on, etc. before watching. I don't like to read a lot of reviews or see things, but it's such a big film that I couldn't help, and obviously I've had to do little presentations for my cinema vlog, stuff like that. So I know a little bit about it, and I say it's not overly liked out there by critics and a lot of the public, but we're going to have a look at, a biggie. I mean, it's a big, but $150 million or just under this has cost. I don't think it's gonna recoup all that money based on what I've seen so far. And it's 130 minutes, so another long one. Okay, actually, yeah, it didn't feel. I watched it; it didn't feel quite that long, but I can understand people not overly excited. But I thought there's plenty packed into the 130 minutes, good or bad. I'll let you know. A 12A certificate, Moonfall, of course. We're talking about Moonfall, so I'm going to have a quick look at that today of other people's views and my little views on it. Please, if you've not already done so, please press that subscribe button. Press them notifications if you want to know these vlogs that come out. I try and inform and entertain as best I can on these vlogs. And also, please check out my cities and vlogs as well, which is about my football team, Manchester City. Any thumbs up you give me, guys, much appreciated. Right, director of this Moonfall is the renowned, of course, world famous Roland Emmerich. I even got his name wrong, so he couldn't be that famous, could he? Yes, of course he is. Roland Emmerich is produced by Harold Closer and Roland Emmerich, and written by Roland Emmerich, Harold Closer and Spencer Coe. I think Roland Emmerich did the coffee as well. I'm not too sure. As I said, between $140 and $150 million budget. I might have said pounds before, dollar budget. And it stars, well, the main three characters. There's lots of little characters as well. Halle Berry, of course, who looks wonderful in this. Patrick Wilson, equally wonderful. And John Bradley. Is John Bradley. In Moonfall, a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. With mere weeks before impacts and the world on the brink of annihilation, NASA executive and former astronaut Joe Fowler is convinced she has the key to saving us all, but only one astronaut from her past, Brian Harper, and a conspiracy theorist, they were connected at some stage, and a conspiracy theorist, K.C. Houseman, believe her. These unlikely heroes will mount an impossible last-ditch mission into space, leaving behind everyone they love, only to find they might have prepared for the wrong mission. Yeah, you probably could have thought it were in Armageddon or something like that. We'll talk about that later. That's at the 8th of February 2022 at 2 p.m. Rotten Tomatoes, don't like it. Rotten Tomatoes don't really like this at all. 4.5 out of 10 it's getting from their critics on Rotten Tomatoes. I think a 39% general rating or positivity rating, we call it. It's only 39% of them were happy-ish with this, or okay-ish. That's 57 fresh and 88 rotten. So not good. It doesn't bode well, does it? The consensus, whether Moonfall is so bad it's good or simply bad, will depend on your tolerance for B-movie cheese. Yes, if you expect a B-movie from this, you won't be overly disappointed, although obviously for $150 million, you want a little bit more than a B-movie, don't you? But either way, this is an Emmerich disaster thriller through and through. Very, very straight to the point there. The Rotten Tomatoes audience are a bit kinder. The audience are a little bit kinder. 3.7 out of 5, so that equates to 7.4 out of 10 if my maths is correct. So, yeah, the critics don't like it. The Rotten Tomatoes audience are a little bit more favourable to it. Metacritic, the other critics we cite, again, very similar to Rotten Tomatoes, 37% only positivity, and it scores anywhere as low as 20 out of 100. And the highest it gets from 37 critics is 60 out of 100, which isn't great. The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw, he only gave it 20. He said, here the formulaic silliness, sometimes part of the enjoyment, is just tiring. Empire's John Nugent, 40 out of 100. He wasn't overly impressed. Moonfall is precisely what you'd expect a film called Moonfall to be. Deeply defiantly, sometimes exasperatingly daft. It's Roland Emmerich on Apocalypse Autopilot. But there is a positive. Justin Chang from the LA Times, he gave it 60 out of 100, one of the highest scores. Moonfall is stupid. Well, it's a good start. In other words, but I don't mind admitting that it feels at this point in time like my kind of stupidity. Back to turning your brain off, guys, and watching this. And I think that's my sort of tagline for this: turn your brain off and just watch it for what it is, and imagine they spent a tenner on it and not $140 million. Right, let's have a look at Internet Movie Database. Joe Public, yeah, a little bit disappointing. 5.3 out of 10, so a little bit below that magical 6. And that's based on 5,986 reviews. And there's just as many 10 out of 10s as 1 out of 10, so I've discounted them. Take all them out, and you're left with 2,601 people, just Joe Public, who gave it between 6 and 9 out of 10. So that's 53%. That's not bad, because 2,321 only scored it between 2 and 5. So 53% spot onto the 5.3 out of 10. You don't usually get that, guys. That's just a coincidence, of course. But so there you go. A little bit better than halfway, but that's not great for a film, is it? Of this stature in cost, etc. My little thoughts. I mean, yeah, as I said earlier, this is going to be a flop. There's no way this is going to recoup. They have to recoup, I think about 2.5, 3 times the budget normally. I'm not sure this post-COVID will, whether that's changed at all, but there's no way this film is going to recoup anything like that. So it is going to be a bit of a flop as far as the studio's concerned who put this together. But, as I said, when watched as a low-budget effort, at least you might get your money's worth out of this. So if you've gone to the cinema to watch it and you're not expecting $150 million worth of film, it'll be okay. If you think it's just a bit sort of we'll mention Mr. Bruce Willis in a bit, but if you think it's just going to be a standard action, sci-fi action thriller, then you'll be fine with it, and they say just accept what's on the screen. As a disaster end of the world scenario movie, yeah, it's not the best, but yes, there are actually worse than this, although you have to go back a long time to sort of start totting them up. But it's certainly not the worst of this genre, if you like. Emmerich's stamp is all over this one, and of course he's done far better with this genre in the past than he has with this one. And based on what he's done in the past, this is a bit of a letdown. And I love the way it sets itself up for a sequel as well. But good luck with that one. I can't see that happening anytime soon. So turn your brain off, flow with it, and it just about rewards your watch for 2 hours and 20 minutes, however long it's on. The visuals are okay. Some of the sets and scenes are excellent. The plot is a little out there, well, it's science fiction. It's not science fact, so a little bit unbelievable, a little bit daft in parts. And I wasn't really over impressed with the baddies, how they came over. The actual presentation of the baddies sort of didn't really get me on the edge of the seat, unfortunately. I do like, there is attempts at humour, as there isn't a good disaster movie. You know, there's always this dark humour. And I do like John Bradley, who seems to be the centre of most of the comedy, but his quirky, geeky hero didn't quite work for me in this. And I do like John Bradley. It just didn't work in this film, unfortunately. Going back to Bruce Willis, as I did mention Bruce Willis before, didn't I? I did like Armageddon very, very much. That's a long, long time ago now, isn't it? And this is, if you like, should be up there with that based on budget and Mr. Emmerich in charge, but it never gets anywhere near. And if you look at what Mr. Bruce Willis tends to put his name to these days, yeah, this for him, if this had been a similar thing, a similar budget, it would have been one of his better ones. But unfortunately, it's not. Bruce Willis isn't in it, so you sadly just get. Not the greatest science fiction disaster movie we've ever seen. I will give it a mark, but only just because I can appreciate people not liking it and being very disappointed. As I said, I totally went into it seeing all these bad reviews and thinking, oh, it's not going to be great. So, to be honest with you, because I thought that, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I think if I'd gone the other way around and had known nothing about it and gone watching it, oh, this looks great, this looks a great plot, etc., etc., I would have been more disappointed because I sort of set the barrier a lot, set the barrier, is it the barrier, set the whatever it is, very low, the bar. I set the bar very low. It didn't have to go very high to jump that bar, but I'll only give it a 5 out of 10, which is probably more than I give most of Bruce Willis's modern day efforts, if you like, since he seems to just be throwing out these films for fun. But as I said, he's not in this. Perhaps if he had been in, perhaps it would have been better. Perhaps it would have been a better film, as he was in Armageddon, which I did really like. And yeah, I'd probably go back and watch that again before I'd ever watched this in a million years, to be honest with you. So we'll give it a 5 out of 10. I will give it a mark, which is just a little bit down on what other people are saying on the other critics and the other scores that it's been given. But yeah, as I said, I almost went to a 5.5, but I'll have to give this. I will give it a mark. It's only really films I thought were rubbish I don't give a mark to, but I will give it a mark of 5 out of 10. A great shame. It could have been so much better, especially, as we said, with what was spent on it. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, guys, you've been to watch this, as I say, you've been to the cinema, been disappointed by it. Just let me know what you thought of this overall. Anyway, thanks for watching. We're going to do this today. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on a film and TV channel, I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.